Okay. So chapter 6 is all about employment basics, which is a good place to start. You guys, how many of you already have a job? Nice. And the rest of you lazy punks who don't have one, what are you guys doing? All right. This quote up here, though, I just love this quote because my dad always says stuff like this from Confucius. Choose a job you love and you'll never have to work a day in your life. That's so true, though. I don't feel like I work. I get to hang out with you guys all the time. I don't feel like I work. Except for Anthony. When I saw you back on the list again, I'm like, I don't know. Your chairs are on here somewhere, by the way. It's still in here. Yeah, it's still in here. No. Don't make another one. Don't break. Anthony, when I had him, he broke one of my chairs. There's a chair. I don't know if anybody's sitting in it. If you lean back in it, it will lean literally all the way down. Anthony could put his head on the floor. Yeah. That was Anthony's chair. I don't know. It's in here. It's somewhere. I know it. Yeah. So I know that you have that chair. All right. So the first section is just looking for employment. It's a pretty short, sweet, easy section. Shouldn't be too bad. Computing periodic salary based on annual contract salary and then abbreviations and ads. This is not a hard section whatsoever. Just a little bit of stats for you guys, though. There's 6.8 million workers called moonlighters, meaning they hold more than one job. Any of your parents work more than one job? Yeah. The average work week is about 47 hours. What do you think of when you think of a work week? What should it be? It should be 40 hours. I mean, really, you think about a 40-hour work week, but the average work week is actually 47 hours. The average commute to work is 25.8 minutes. Takes me about 13 minutes to get here from where I live. So I'm underneath that average. Millennials, which is you guys, we're following it, you guys are millennials. Well, that was as of 2015, so you guys are millennials. Are now the largest age group in the workforce, which a little terrifies me when you think of millennials. You guys hear all the bad stuff that people say about millennials, right? I technically, based on like the ages of that, like technically fall as a millennial, and I'm offended when people call me a millennial. So a much smaller percentage of teenagers work today compared to the 1970s. Why do you think that is? You don't have a car. That limits it. That's a big thing. They feel like they're entitled to things. So, I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. And then the number of employees, look at the highest one on there. Teachers, highest number of employees. And then look at all the hairdressers, hairstylists, cosmetologists, which is interesting since that is a lab here at Penna. And chefs and head cooks, there's your culinary. Taxi drivers, you guys want to be a taxi driver? Firefighters. A lot of these top jobs you see as career paths here at Penna, I think are interesting. So, tax repairs. Which one of you started with taxes? Head Mrs. Robinson? Okay. Oh, there should be another one on that. Brent, the Hollander, I think he came from. Oh, okay, so he's not being shifted over here? Okay. So did he come to class at all? Oh, he's on my attendance. Okay, I was kind of curious. I remember seeing his name on there. All right. When looking for employment online or in the newspaper, it's important to know what the abbreviations represent. Most of them, I think, are pretty obvious. You know, like, it's funny they say newspaper. Nobody looks at anything in the newspaper anymore. You know, agency assistant, bilingual. You might not recognize what that one was. Computer literate, email your resume, evenings, experience. Some of these are pretty easy. Full-time, good. I don't know why you'd abbreviate good. It's a short word. I don't understand that one. K is 1,000 if you did not know that. Part-time, paid vacation. This one's weird to me. $2.M. Maximum pay is how much per hour. To me, that's a really weird abbreviation. I've never actually seen that one. You guys probably all know WIF, right? You do that one all the time when you're texting. All right, so here we go. A little bit of vocab. That is one thing in this class. There's a lot of vocab that goes with things. So a lot of tests, a lot of quizzes that you'll see from in this class, you'll have vocab portions of it. But I always give you, like, I always put them on Quizlet, and I'll, like, print off, like, the flashcards or the list of them so you know exactly what the words are. But an employment agency is a business that helps people find jobs and helps employers find employees. Any of your parents or anybody you know actually go through an employment agency before? Yeah? Parents or friends or your aunt? I mean, they can be great, but sometimes employment agencies, like, will charge fees. Like, right. With, honestly, with the internet and anything anymore, like, I almost don't see how an employment agency is even in business anymore. But yeah, a lot of times employment agencies, if they find the job for you, a lot of times they take part of that pay. So you got to be careful of that going through an employment agency. All right, do you guys know what a resume is? Have you written resumes before? Yeah? English class? So a resume is just a short account of your education and qualifications for employment. It's important that you guys do have a good resume. Hopefully you made a good one that you can kind of take with you once you leave Penna. I will tell you, I've seen some really bad resumes before. My brother once did his, and he's like, hey, can you proofread this for me? And I'm looking over it, I'm like, holy crap, this is bad. Like, I looked at it like, dude, like, and he's older than me. I'm like, if I was a boss looking and this resume came across my desk, I would have thrown it in the trash can. Like, it was terrible. So you need to make sure things are spelled right, your formatting's correct. It's very important on a resume. And then a W-4, if you start with the tax chapter at all. Once you're hired, you fill out a W-4 form. It's used by your employers for tax purposes. It's kind of like when you think about, like, are you claiming 1? Are you claiming 0? Like, so that way they know how much money to take out of your check for your taxes. So anytime you start a new job, you always got to fill out that form. Yeah, I don't know. You're right. Then you get a W-2 back that tells you how much you made for the year, and then you got to file that. I know. We'll talk more about that in the tax chapter. We'll get there eventually. We probably won't hit it before the tax season, which is probably why Miss Robinson's student, she has a student teacher, right? That's probably why she started with it. But I would say of all the chapters that I taught in this class last semester, the tax chapter was the hardest one. Stock's pretty easy. Yeah. All right. So number 1, Julianne found a job listed in the classified ads that pays a yearly salary of $41K. What's that mean? 41,000. What is the weekly salary based on the annual salary? How many weeks are in a year? 50-something. How many is 50-something? 52. Thank you. So maybe make a note. 52 weeks equals 1 year. So you want to make sure you know that. That bit of info is used quite often. So 52 weeks is 1 year. So how do you figure out what the weekly salary is? Divide, yeah. So we're going to take the 41,000 they make per year. If you divide by 52, you'll find out how much they make each week. So at $788.46. Now I know we're not into this part of the chapter or anything yet, but is that how much you bring home? No, that's your gross. Right, and your taxes, and if you have insurance, and all that craziness. And then you realize, like, you don't make that much money. It's kind of sad. Like, I look how much I gross versus how much I bring home. It makes me cry. It's terrible. What? Oh, yeah. Well, if you take that and divide that by 40, let's just say they worked a 40-hour week, you make over $19 an hour based on that. Yeah, I do. Oh, yeah, if you broke mine down, because I'm salary. Yeah. It's the nature of it, though. I get the summer off. You know, I do get my summer off, and people always say that, but at the same time, like, I can't go on vacation next week. I don't have that option. You know what I mean? Like, I'm limited on, I get 1 day each semester that I can take off 1. I mean, I have sick time, but what? Last semester, I took off so I could go to my kids' Halloween parties after school. I have 3 kids, so yeah. All right, so number 2, Karen found a job with an annual salary of 67.3K. What is her monthly pay rounded to the nearest dollar? So if she makes 67.3K, what does that really mean? How do you figure that out? Yeah, that's 67.3 times 1,000, because the K means 1,000. So 67.3 times 1,000 is 67,300. Okay, and it wants to know her monthly pay. So what do you divide by? All right, do we know this one? How many months are in a year? 12. Okay, got that one. So divide that by 12. So $5,608, and it says round to the nearest dollar. Would I round up to the 9 or just keep it at an 8? It's 0.33. Right. So rounding it to the nearest dollar would round it down to there. So what do you think? Pretty good pay? Would you guys be happy to make over $67,000 a year? Yeah, that'd be all right. All right, number 3. Dylan took an applicant paid job through an employment agency. The job pays $395 per week. Dylan must pay a fee to the employment agency. The fee is 20% of his first 4 weeks' pay. How much money must Dylan pay the agency? So what's the first thing you'd have to calculate? How much he makes in 4 weeks? Okay, so 395 times 4. So $1,580. That's in 4 weeks. All right, and then how do you figure out what his fee is that he has to pay? Good. We're going to multiply that by 0.20. All right. So we get $316. So what do you think? Is that worth going through an employment agency? I mean, he's only making $395 per week. That's not a whole lot. So that is one of the downsides to an employment agency. Some of them do charge you a fee for so long. All right. Number 4, Ken is a mechanic who owns Ace Auto Repair. He needs a foreign car expert and is placing a 12-line ad on jobsrus.com. The cost of an ad, X lines long, is given by the following piecewise function. Now, piecewise functions, they look a little intense when you first look at them, but it's just, you have to look and see where you fall. So if X is less than or equal to 4, so if you have 4 or less lines in your ad, your cost is just $56. But if you have more than 4 lines in your ad, then you'd have to just plug it in how many you have into that formula. That's all that is. Okay? So find the cost of a 12-line ad. So is it going to be just the 56, or do I have to use the formula? Formula, right? Because it's 12 lines, that's greater than 4. So we're going to plug it right into here. So 56 plus 6 times what goes in for X then? 12. So piecewise functions, not too bad. You just kind of figure out where your number falls and just kind of plug it in from there. So 56 plus 6 times 8. Yeah, so it's going to cost him $104. And again, we're just plugging it in because it's greater than 4, so we use the formula. How are we feeling so far? You guys are like dead. All right, guys, number 5. Roger is a graphic artist, so his resume is several pages long. and includes an artistic portfolio. His prospective employers want hard copies of his resume, so he wants to have 400 copies. That seems a bit excessive if you ask me. Yeah, a little bunch of his resume printed. His local print shop charges $91.50 for the first 200 copies and $42 for every 100 additional copies. How much will the 400 copies cost, including a sales tax of 6%? It seems like a bit much, but okay, that's what he's doing. So what do we need to figure out? Like, what do we know right away? He's not going to get the job. We're assuming like copied like one page, like, you know. Yeah, don't overthink it too much. All right, so what do we know right away he's definitely going to have a charge of? $91.50. Right, $91.50, that's for 200 copies. So how many more does he have to go? Right, he wants 400 copies total. So it's $91.50 for the first 200. So he has another 200. How much is it for every 100 additional? 42. So 42, and then another 42. Right, that's for 100, that's for 100, because you wanted 400 total. All right, so altogether, how much is he paying for his copies? A ridiculous amount of money, I agree. Oh, I heard a lot of different answers there. Okay, good. Yeah, just adding up the $91.50 for the first 200, 42 for the next 100, 42 for the next 100, $175.50 for his copies. But they want to know how much they cost, including the sales tax. How do you figure out what a sales tax is? Good. We're going to multiply this by 0.06 to figure out how much sales tax it is. You should know that 6% is 0.06. You really should. All right. So we multiply the 0.06 is $10.53, and then what should we do with these two numbers? And add them together. So $186.03. I'll be honest with you, if it's me working through this problem on my own, I would not have went that route. I'm a lazy mathematician. I'm going to do less work if I can. If you would just take the 175.50 and multiply it by 1.06, I'd get 186.03. I could do it in one step. So I can avoid doing the two-step process. The 1.0, yeah, it's 100, which is all of this and an additional 6% of it. It puts it all together in one step. So for those of you who are lazy like I am, I can do it in one step then. If you're like, what the heck did she just do? Then do it the way that you know. It's totally fine. But I just want to show you there is a shortcut. Just multiply by 1.06. It takes 100% of the amount and an additional 6% and puts it all together. Yeah, you can always put the 1 in front. Yeah. Yeah, sure can. It's just like if you were going to subtract like a 6% discount, instead of multiplying by 6%, I would multiply by 94%. I would do it in one step. But, yeah. You can do it however you're comfortable with, okay? I just want to show you a shortcut. All right, number 6. An online job search site charges employers fees to post job listings. Their price list is shown in the table. The prices per posting decrease as the number of postings increase. What is the percent savings if an employer decides to post 4 jobs? So how much does it cost if they decide to do 4 jobs? Good, $350 each. So what is that, like $1,400? All right. Now we need to know, the question though asks for the percent savings. percent. I don't want a dollar figure, I want a percentage. So formula, nice big red box around that, highlight it, star it, whatever you need, you're going to need to know that formula. Okay? The percent discount, or percent savings, is the original price minus the discount divided by the original, and then you multiply by 100. If you guys have maybe heard in the past new minus old over old, ever heard that formula before? It's very similar, same idea. Okay, so the percent discount, we take the original price. So what's the original price if I posted just a single job? $3.95. So my original was $3.95 minus the discount price. What's my new price since I'm doing 4 of them? $3.50 divided by the original, $3.95. And then why am I multiplying by 100? Why is that part of the formula? Good, to make it a percentage. Right, so $3.95 minus $3.50. That's going to give me, if I do this step by step, 45 over $3.95. So be careful if you're somebody who's very calculator dependent and you're just typing the whole thing in. If you type in $3.95 minus $3.50 divided by $3.95, you're going to get a wrong answer. Okay, unless you type it in as a fraction. Your calculator's going to do order of operations on you, so just be careful. Simplify the top first, divide that by the $3.95, and then multiply by 100. So how much of a discount do we get? Yeah, about 11.4% discount. Every little bit helps, right? It's like the little boy who peed in the ocean. That's what he said. Every little bit helps. Sorry, my dad has really weird sayings, and I remember them. All right, so anytime you're seeing something asking about percent savings, you know, or percent increase, percent all that stuff, you're coming back to this formula. Okay? Questions on anything? Are we feeling okay? Are you wishing that you had not switched teachers at this point? You're glad? Good. Good. I'm glad you guys are